Hi, great to be with you again. We are working our way through Psalm 23 and we've come to verse 5. Now I've decided to split verse 5 into two parts because it's just got so much good stuff in it. The first part says, "You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies." We'll get to the other part next time round. But just going through this, a phrase at a time, opens up an understanding of these words that opens a window into the real power of heaven. As we go through this psalm, David hasn't brought us out of the valley of the shadow of death yet, that really difficult place that we sometimes find ourselves. Think of difficult situations at home, difficult situations at work, health problems, finance problems, whatever it happens to be. Those are the kinds of issues that we might be faced with now. He's talking about the place where our enemies are still on the prowl, where we still need a shepherd with a rod and a staff to protect us. But in that place, we read that God has prepared a table for us. Now, those words aren't speaking about a light lunch or a hastily grabbed snack like a warrior would in the middle of a battle. This is about a feast, a banquet, if you like, a table laid with a magnificent spread. It's a full-on, many-coursed meal that has been prepared for us. And that's the next most important thing, that this has been prepared. This was made ready in advance because God saw the need. He saw what we would need to have. He knew that we would need to be well fed in that place. Fed so well that he prepared it for us even before we arrived. And then, as if all of that's not enough, we learn that our enemies are still there. While we sit and eat, they have to look on, held at arm's length by the God of power and might, our shepherd Jesus with his rod and his staff to protect us. How utterly, devastatingly and demoralizing that must be for an enemy to be made to stand as his prey enjoys a complete banquet at God's table. It's just fantastic. And for the recipient of that meal, that could be us, there's no fear. We learned that yesterday. We have the security we need from our protector. We have peace and rest in what was a terrible and threatening situation. This is a wonderful picture of the perfect peace that you can find in God, in salvation with Jesus. Even in the darkest valley, under the greatest level of threat, he still feeds us. You know, Jesus once said to his disciples, "I have food to eat you know nothing about." You can read about it in John 4:32. Very different circumstances. But isn't this a great way to receive that kind of spiritual food? Let's pray. Lord, I thank you that you always provide what we need. Thank you that even in our darkest hour, you have what we need. Help us to receive what you have for us. Open our hearts and minds, Lord, to receive the blessings of heaven, that spiritual food, that spiritual nurture. So come, Lord, today. Fill us with that food that brings restoration to our souls and relationship with you. I ask in Jesus' name. Amen. Have a great day.